Be sparking and rushing mad like inside the dark. Call me Bill Snatcher, just a brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifested. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psycho.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, and today we have some major news in regards to the Boruto anime. We have episode summaries for the Boruto anime up to episode 223, so we're gonna go over a lot of the information we have. Much thanks to Organic Dinosaur for buying the TV guides and translating that information. And I have to say right now, we are going to be continuing the manga, but it is going to be cutting off. Like I said, I thought that the anime was going to do is cutting off at the 5 Kage summit. So this is very interesting right here. Very interesting news. So if you don't want to be spoiled on anything that's getting ready to happen, you might want to click off this video, though this is information Japan wants you to know. So I personally would watch this. And as we go into the episode summaries that are coming from the TV guides as well as from TV Tokyo's own website, there's some very interesting stuff going on with why we're having the Chunin exams. And I have to say, I am personally looking forward to seeing episode 222 and 223. Those are going to be episodes that are going to be worked on by Studio Pierrot. It looks like they're getting a little bit of a break after animating that very beautiful goodbye episode to Kurama in episode 218. So getting right into the episode summaries. Episode 219, which is going to be this upcoming episode, is titled Returning. And according to the synopsis that's published on the official TV Tokyo website, it says that after concluding the battle with Isshiki, Boruto and his comrades have returned to the village. Thanks to their tremendous efforts, their team has maintained the safety of the village. However, and in the midst of the battle, Boruto's consciousness was completely hijacked by Momoshiki once again. Boruto had developed a strong sense of dread about what had happened to him. Meanwhile, Amato informs him about some new intel. The former leader of Car, Jigen, had a faithful servant amongst his executive staff named Code, who possessed even greater powers than Jigen did. In addition, Car currently has ownership of an immature form of the Jubi, tailed beast. While Code is watching over the Jubi, something appears right in front of him. So that one right there, we can kind of piece together what's going to happen in 219 just based off of this summary from TV Tokyo as well as the other summary that I did earlier in this week. So essentially, Boruto has PTSD from Momoshiki taking over his body. He's scared to use the Karma Seal, and I really hope that the anime kind of plays around with that before we see Boruto use his Karma Seal again, in the sense that that is a huge problem right there. I think that that could be something that is a good internal conflict for the character of Boruto, a good way to pay off before we see him skillfully using his Karma Seal at will. Seeing him kind of struggle with that power for a little bit, in the sense that using it makes him worry about Momoshiki taking over. I think that that could be a good bonding moment for himself and Kawaki. Now, the other part of this is I do like that they go ahead and confirm for us that Code has powers that go well beyond Jigen. So that right there is very interesting, because once again, they're distinguishing the difference between Isshiki and Jigen, which is something that I've been hammering home for the past year now. Isshiki and Jigen are two separate beings. Amato refers to them as two separate beings. The clear distinction here is that there's power that goes beyond Jigen, but the cap on this is Isshiki. Isshiki is a different breed in terms of power. Jigen was the vessel for Isshiki. Isshiki was inside of Jigen's body. He was controlling Jigen's body, but Isshiki existed separate of Jigen. It's like if you have a tapeworm inside of your body, only that tapeworm is able to control your functions and take away your free will. You are still you, and the tapeworm is still the tapeworm, even though the tapeworm is in control. That's why Amato continuously refers to Jigen as Jigen and Isshiki as Isshiki, and Ada does the same thing. Even Code does the same thing. So I like that the anime is again kind of hammering home these are two separate folks. So Code's going to be in that funky space where he's stronger than Jigen, but he's weaker than Isshiki. So I'm personally okay with that, but I do like the fact that there is the specter of the Ten Tails, and it looks like the anime is going to give us a little bit more information there. So now going into episode 220, we're going to be continuing adapting the manga right here. And this is going to be the last manga episode. So In episode 220, which is going to be airing on 10/17, which is titled Remaining Time. So the episode summary here was published by Animedia magazine, and it says that people who have been etched by the karma by a member of the Otsutsuki clan gradually have their minds and bodies get taken over during their Otsutsuki transformation. The situation surrounding Boruto and his Otsutsuki transformation is quite serious. In addition, they need to discuss code, who is the leader of Kar, and his movements. Boruto's father, who is the 7th Hokage, Naruto, calls for a Gokage summit in order to convene with the others and talk about these matters. Amidst the topics is the progression of Boruto's Otsutsuki transformation, which will eventually become a situation with the level of threat that will be on par with Isshiki's case. And so it became a question of what will be done if that situation arises. Could anything even be done about it at all? The 5th Kage, Gaara, then asked Naruto, are you prepared to attack and take down your own son? As the Hokage and Boruto's father, what will Naruto's decision be? So that right there, I like that. And I think that that is a good way to end talking about any of the manga content, is to leave it off on that right there. And it looks like the anime is doing what I said. I told you guys that Kishimoto built in room for filler in the anime, and it looks like what they're doing here is with this Gokage summit, there's going to be a little bit of a gap between when Naruto gives his answer to Gaara and when Naruto goes to Amado and gets those Byakugan drugs. So that's interesting. So that's why this Chunin exams is taking place here. Now, what I also like about this is the fact that Gaara brings up the huge question in the room, which is essentially, can Naruto do what's needed to be done as Hokage? And I've always said that while we're in this part of the story, the part of the story that Boruto says at the very beginning of my story is the story of me and my father, I've always said that Naruto's greatest conflict, and that's part of his character arc, is the fact that you have two struggles going on. Naruto is the Hokage and Naruto is the father. And I like how you're seeing these two struggles intersect right now. So I love this right here. I'm really looking forward to seeing this one. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this should be an episode that's done by another sub studio. So I'm very excited to see what they cook up for that one. So episode 221 is titled The Chunin Exams Again, and it's going to be broadcast on 10/24, and this was another one published by Animage magazine. So it says, at Naruto's suggestion, the Chunin exams will take place in Konoha for the Genin. Since everyone in the village has grown uneasy due to Isshiki's raid, the other objective of the Chunin exams is to cheer everyone up. That explains it. That's actually a brilliant move on Naruto's part. So sorry, I had to kind of break the narrative for a second. That shows great leadership in Naruto's case right there. That is beautiful. I love seeing the growth of our boy right here. So it says Boruto and his peers in his same Genin class are headed towards their own goals. These Genin are gathering together and aiming to be promoted to Chunin status. Up until now, they've all been teammates who completed numerous missions together and gained considerable experiences from doing them. Now it's the time to show the results of their accumulated training. Everyone is super motivated to tackle the exams. Who will achieve their dearest wish of being promoted to Chunin? So, like I was saying, that is a brilliant move on Naruto's part right there, because people are uneasy and you have to control the narrative. So that's very good on Naruto's part right there. And the other brilliant thing on this, and something that's underrated, so we've seen Boruto and Team 7 get considerably stronger. We've watched their growth, in particular in the car actuation arc. We've seen a lot of growth with these members. Well, what this arc allows you to do is it allows you to see where the other members of Boruto's generation rank in terms of power in regards to them. So that's going to be the key right there, is how well do Boruto's generation match up against him, and which members are the ones that are able to keep up with the members of Team 7. That's going to be very interesting right there. I love seeing that. This is very much needed. You know, you have a lot of people who complain about the Boruto power scaling. This is one of those ways to address that right there. And because now you're able to see clear marks of progression for the other people. Now, episode 222 is titled The Eve Before the Decisive Battle. So this is going to be airing on Halloween, 10/31. And I know people were worried that based off of the title that this was going to be the Chunin exams being interrupted. That's not the case. So Right here, it states that the final test of the Chunin exams has been announced. The format will be individual combat matchups. Last time, not many candidates remained for the final test, but this time Boruto and many of his peers from his same class of Genin have made it. Each of them are determined and are starting to make their final preparations. Amongst the finalists are Team 7, who have a top-ranked track record. The members of Team 10 and Wasabi, who has been putting forth a lot of effort into our missions despite the absence of Sumire. In addition, test rules have changed. Those who use scientific ninja weapon, I like this one. I like this one. Hold on. This is a game changer right here. Wow, this is a game changer of a rule. The use of self-made scientific ninja weapons are permitted. Dinky and Tsubaki, a samurai foreign exchange student from the Iron Country, and other finalists have been devoting themselves completely to the development and fine-tuning of their own scientific ninja weapons. And so there will be many new formidable foes in the final test. Some white-hot battles are about to unfold. So that's interesting. That's interesting. That means that the Ninja Weapon Tech department has fine-tuned those scientific ninja weapon tech, and that's interesting. Because the key words in this is they have their self-made ninja weapon tech, so that means they had to develop it themselves. That goes back to what I said in my video talking about Naruto's curse, and my video that I also did over on Anime Balls Deep's channel talking about Sasuke and losing the rinnegan. Well, one of the points I made in that video with Anime Balls Deep, I said that Sasuke and Naruto, through the light novels, have made it a point to tell Boruto and to teach Boruto that the ninja of the future are going to be those who can combine ninja tech and their own ninjutsu, and that when you use ninja tech, you cannot forsake your own ninjutsu training. So that means that we're moving towards ninja tech playing a huge role in the story, and I think that depending on how this is handled, this could be something that is very much earned. I like this. I like this. I'll make a separate video on this. I like this one. So episode 223 is titled Inojin versus Hokage, and it's going to be airing on November 7th. And according to this one, it says, at last the final tests have begun. The first round of the individual combat matchups will be a battle between Inojin and Hokage. Hokage and his comrades from Team 25 have been missions with the Anbu up until now. Is that the kid who, is that the kid who looks up to Kakashi that's on Sai's team? That's interesting. Going back to it, Hokage and his comrades from Team 25 have been doing missions with the Anbu up until now, which is rare and usual even amongst their own peers. That's why Inojin doesn't know what Hokage could be scheming or what tricks Hokage might have up his sleeves. To start things off quickly, Inojin successfully uses the Super Beast imitating drawing, which is a jutsu that is Inojin's forte. He is then able to drive Hokage into a corner. However, Hokage waits for the chance to use his jutsu. Suddenly, Inojin has lost sight of his enemy's whereabouts and the tables have changed. Who will ultimately be the winner? Meanwhile, Boruto and Mitsuki are heading over to the venue for the final test since they are supposed to be participating in them. En route, they happen to catch sight of some suspicious looking people and decide to pursue them. So that's interesting. So Sai's team is about to beast. I'm calling that right now. Sai's team is about to beast during these Chunin exams, but these suspicious looking people, I really wonder if there wasn't a third meaning behind this Chunin exam. So obviously from a power scaling perspective, this was meant to show the progress of the members of Boruto's team, obviously to show what ninja tech can be done when used alongside ninjutsu. The second reason for these Chunin exams is to obviously pad out the manga story, but also narratively, it gives Naruto a chance to start restoring a sense of normalcy inside the village for all of these civilians. You have to remember that the Hidden Leaf Village is now the capital for the Land of Fire. It wasn't always the case, so Naruto has to maintain that sense of peace. But the third reason for these exams, in my opinion, might be to start introducing some of these outer members, because we do know that Sai and the Anbu have been rounding up members of the outers. So that's interesting. That's interesting. I really wonder if that's who suspicious looking people are going to be. So I'm really excited about how they're going to incorporate ninja tech into this. I'm very excited. Like that's probably right there my number one most excited thing. So my question to you guys is, what matchup do you want to see in the Chunin exams? Out of all the members of Boruto's generation, I would say for me, I personally want to see Boruto versus Shinki as a rematch. I want to see that. Or I want to see Mitsuki versus Shinki. I want to see those two kind of go at it. I also want to see Awabe versus Sarada. That's a matchup I've always been fascinated with. I know Sarada clears, but I really want to see what Awabe is able to do. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.